Alright guys, yes, I know I got new hair, so we got a new video to go along with it. So, this is going to be another adaptation of another X-Men story. I know I did that with X of Swords a little while back, but I figured, hey, why not do another video, of another great X-Men event. And we're going to be doing an adaptation of Mutant Massacre. So for those who don't know what Mutant Massacre is, Mutant Massacre was a storyline in that what was I going to say? Was the first, I guess you could say, one of the first major X-Men events that was written by Chris Claremont. I mean, basically what it was is that the introduction of the Marauders slaughtering the Morlocks by order of Mr. Sinister, who was more or less hidden. This was also this was a major event that also tied in with X Factor, which was, of course, the original 5 X-Men at the time. Also had Power Pack show up. It had the New Mutants, and it also had Daredevil and Thor appear. Yeah, Daredevil and Thor just show up in the storyline. Although, to be fair, their story, in the grand scheme of things, their comics don't feel like necessary to anything that's going on. They're just like, hey, I'm Daredevil, or I'm Thor. Daredevil's, in fact, is just him fighting Sabretooth for a hot minute, whereas with Thor's, at least, is a little more connected because Thor does a little more. I think I didn't just rhyme there, but yeah, he does a little more against the Morlocks and actually helps X Factor. So his is a little more tangential, whereas Daredevil's is just like, I'm Daredevil. Even Power Pack's issue is just kind of like, yeah, we're here. Anyway, so this is going to be a adaptation of the storyline, and basically what it is that in this storyline, it's going to be like a shared animated universe, as like the other ones, and in this storyline, we kick off with the Ninja Turtles chilling at home when suddenly they're just under attack by not just some of their enemies, but also like other mutant villains, like character like Slopster and other characters from Street Sharks and Extreme Dinosaurs, like a lot of mutant villains that have been brought together. And the Turtles managed to get out. They managed to get out with the help of the Mutanimals and the Labyrinth clan from Gargoyles, led, of course, with Talon and all of them. And they reveal that, hey, you weren't the only ones that got hit. We got hit too the previous night, and we barely got out of there. We got out because one of the members of that Marauders group was Fang, the fallen member of the Labyrinth clan. And Talon tells Leonardo and the Mutanimals that, look, we got hit hard. We lost. We almost, aside from my clan, the humans that we were protecting in the labyrinth were all slaughtered. Like, they were all slaughtered by this. We have a good idea as to who's doing this, but we found out we're not the only ones. As it turns out, there were other teams that have been just been blitzkrieged by some unknown who's behind these who's behind the Marauders. And the other teams are the Street Sharks, the Extreme Dinosaurs, and the Road Rovers. And the other 3 teams hook up with them, and now all 6 mutant groups are now just kind of like debating on what's our move now. Like, we don't know what's going on. Like, we got hit hard, and we had to leave our homes, we had to leave our bases, we had to ditch. So there's a big thing of who's the mystery villain behind all this, and they're trying to figure out. Now, Talon believes that it is the guy who helped create him along with Xanatos, Anton Savarius. And this description is very it could be easily Savarius, because Savarius has always been obsessed with genetic material and mutant genetic material. Hell, that's how he created the Labyrinth clan to begin with. There's also, it could be Savarius. He has the money and the intelligence to, attack them. But then there's also Dr. Paranoid, Ripster, leader of the Street Sharks, suggests maybe it's Paranoid because, other Street Shark villains were in there that were mutants. And, again, he has that money and that, genetic know-how to use people. They also throw out maybe the extreme dinosaurs say maybe it's Bad Rap because Bad Rap was one of the major members of of the Marauders group, and maybe he's the one behind leading all of them because he's like Bad Rap is like the acting field leader of everything that's going on. So Leonardo, even like Raphael suggests, maybe it's like it could be like Baxter Stockman, it could be fucking Krang, it could be anybody. And even Leonardo says, yeah, Raph's right, it could be anybody. Like, we just can't assume instantly that our enemies are behind this. It could be someone else manipulating our enemies, so they have to go investigate. And along the way, they discover that there is another element at play with who the Marauders are against, and that is Hitomi from Killing Bites. And Hitomi reveals that, yeah, even thylacines, Theranthropes, not thylacines, Theranthropes are also being hunted by the Marauders. And at first, they assumed that it was these Zaibatsu groups always have their Theranthropes, which are mutant animal-human hybrids that are created genetically. And they believe that it was all just a different Zaibatsu warring with each other and, like, dealing blows against other companies. But now they're suspecting that it's somebody else. Like, it's an outside force that is... Not only that, but Hitomi also reveals that it's like they're taking genetic code, like genetic material from whatever base they hit or whoever they kill. Like, they'll take it and bring it to whoever it is. So... and they also like discover along the way that we're building to something bigger. Like, this is a bigger case that is being taken into consideration. So the now united mutant heroes all gather together, and after pooling their resources and doing a little more digging, they discover that the person behind all of this is an Anton, but it's not Savarius. It's Anton Mercer. Yeah, Mesogog is the mastermind behind... Yeah, the Mesogog is the Mr. Sinister of this story. And the reason why he's behind this is because he's been collecting genetic material to create stronger soldiers, and also he's been splicing them with humans and creating more powerful creatures. He's also been taking DNA from, he's also been using the Marauders to rob InGen and take their dinosaur genetic material, especially from what little data they have left of the the Indominus and the Indoraptor. So they're harvesting DNA, but he's also Mesogog, as he's been doing this, reveals that, yeah, while I've been doing this, I kind of realize something. Genetic material, genetic creation of these heroes and other creatures out there, it's just diluting it. It's just diluting the mutant gene pool, as he calls it. So we've been basically creating weaker and weaker beings in my eyes. So I'm having the Marauders clean house. I'm having the Marauders hunt down and wipe out anyone I deem just genetically inferior in terms of mutants. So he's been rallying these Marauders. He's been bringing the Marauders together to hunt down and kill whoever he deems genetically inferior, and that goes for the mutant heroes as well. But there's an even bigger target that Mesogog has his sights set on. He's more or less I'm going to wipe out all the genetically all these animals and whatever, and mutants and whatever that have been born from genetic manipulation, and I'm going to replace it with new dinosaurs because that's my thing. I'm Anton fucking Mesogog. And that big target he is setting his sights on is Anima City from B&A. So yeah, Anima City is kind of like the Genosha of this story, or I guess you could say Krakoa as well. So Mesogog has his sights set on just wiping out Anima City, because he's yeah, these guys are I deem everyone in Anima City genetically inferior, so I'm going to have not only my Marauders, but also my new and improved genetically created dinosaur men that I've been harvesting and strengthening with the best parts of the DNA I've been collecting. And I'm going to make my own private army and march into Anima City and tear it apart. And then, on top of it, I'm going to quickly seize power in Anima City and make it my new little kingdom. I don't need to rule the world. I've come to the decision, Mesogog's I don't need to rule the world. I just want to rule a small part of it. Make my own little Dinotopia, as you will. Yeah, Mesogog is all kinds of crazy. So that is pretty much the story in a nutshell. It's just this big balls to, like, it starts out like kind of like the original story of Mutant Massacre, but it quickly like grows and becomes its own thing with all these different mutant heroes. If you're wondering why I didn't have the biker mice from Mars in here, it's mostly because I don't know jack shit about them. So before anyone asks in the comments below, why didn't you put biker mice from Mars on here? You're also, if you're wondering why I didn't put Captain Simian and the Space Monkeys in here, well, this wasn't because I didn't know anything about them. I actually do, but they're out in space, so there's no way Mesogog could get to them. So the Captain Simian and the Space Monkeys, they're fine. So really, it was just those 6 groups. You know, Ninja Turtles, Mutanimals, Labyrinth Clan, Road Rovers, Extreme Dinosaurs, and Street Sharks. So it was those 6 teams like working together to fight Mesogog and his marauders and stop his insane scheme to essentially destroy a whole city and make his own little Dinotopia. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my story. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Like it, hate it, comment below, let me know. And once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.